channel. I am the Mass Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now, before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. All right, you guys. So guess what? I know you're going to be happy to hear this. Today, I am not talking about the wee spa incident. Today, we're going to get back to basics and just have a little bit of fun around here. It's been a very heavy week. Lots of education, you know, I've been trying to give out there to the masses because apparently some of the people out there weren't raised right. So, you know, I have to come in and do some rearing of my own. All right, but anyway, so the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, let me be clear. Typically when I speak, I just give it to you as the spirit gives it to me, right? Now, Potomac I have not seen since season 1. So to be completely honest with you, I don't know these hoes. So the reason you see me with this notebook today is because I had to take some notes. So if I mess up names and what have you and relationships and history, y'all just gonna have to correct me in the comments, okay? So bear with me. We're gonna get through this together, all right? So let's talk about it. Season 6, episode 1, Real Housewives of Potomac. Opens up with Ashley. She has had one child. She's pregnant with another child. She's, you know, sort of going through the motions with her relationship. And she talks a little bit. I'm not sure if this is sort of the beginning of a storyline that she hasn't been intimate with her husband in 5 months. And to that I say, thank you. Why would you want to be intimate with that? That was my question. Like, girl, if you don't get you a toy or two, why would you want that on top of you? Listen, I try not to judge, but not your girl. Not your girl. So she's complaining about that. So we'll see if that builds into a storyline. And then we have, who is it? Is it Wendy? Okay, so Wendy has had some cosmetic surgery done, right? She had her body done. She had her boobs done. And potentially she had a couple other things done. She had a couple of other nip tucks that she's not quite ready to come clean about. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But she sends out this invitation to all of the ladies, inviting them to her nude party where all of the women are asked to wear a shade of nude to celebrate her body, where she wants to reveal to the ladies what she's had done. So then we see, who is it? Robin. I want to talk about this for a second, right? There are some insensitive men in this world. And when I was watching Robin and her husband, there was a scene where they went into sort of this natural food shop, I believe it was, to have a smoothie. And, you know, he's talking about how he wants more kids and how she's sleeping to 10 a.m. and how she needs to get up out of bed. And, you know, just really putting all of this pressure on her. You know, you're turning 40. And I'm sitting there just watching and shaking my head like, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me, because he is so consumed by what he wants that he is not giving any credence to what she may want or what she may be going through. When you know, and it wasn't even to 10. I think he said she was sleeping until like 2 p.m. in the afternoon, like she was sleeping in. Now, one thing I know is that if you find a person who's sleeping for these extended periods, that is usually a sign of depression, right? And especially with everything that's been happening with the pandemic and, you know, people being out of work and people basically having to self-quarantine and not having access to their friends and their family. You know, depression is really heavy right now. And the fact that he is so consumed, again, by what he wants that he doesn't even take that into consideration, for me, is just like, couldn't be my man. Couldn't be my man, but I think that may be another potential storyline, you know, that we may see evolving over the course of this season. But he just really pissed me off in that moment, because I feel like women have so much pressure on them already. First of all, your body doesn't have to go through the rigmarole that Robin's body is going to have to go through, right? Your stomach isn't going to get stretched out. You're not going to get stretch marks. Your vagina isn't going to get torn up. Like, all the things that the woman has to go through, he doesn't give a damn. Talking about he wants a girl. Well, then you have her. If you want a girl, goddamn it, you have her. Because I'm done. You know, I just want to, you know, sometimes there's, like, I'm okay with, you know, this traditional dynamic between men and women where you respect your man. But you have to have a voice and not allow men to walk all over you and step all over your dreams and your feelings and just encroach on your personal happiness. Because before you're a mom, before you're a wife, you are you, okay? And don't be afraid to stand up for you if the situation calls for it, if your man is not able to do it or not able to see it. So just wanted to touch on that for a second here. Who else do we want to talk about? Candace has a new home. Her quote-unquote bonus children are there to see her. The home is beautiful. Not a whole lot to say there, so we'll just go right past that. Talk about Ashley with her child. So let's I'm gonna put this down now. We're gonna talk. So let's talk. Okay, hands are free. So let's get to the nude interlude, the party that Robin threw to celebrate her new body, yada yada, right? So she invites the girls there. Candace doesn't show up because apparently Candace does not want to have an interaction with Karen. So she decided that she was going to sit this one out. Okay, cute. So everyone gets there, and you can already see that there was some interesting dynamics unfolding, because on the ride there, Karen rode with Mia. And Mia is going to be a new housewife this season. And on the ride there, Karen is telling Mia how Wendy was excited to have her there. But of course, you know, Bravo is shady with their editing. And they showed Karen asking Wendy if Mia could come, and Karen was anything but accommodating. I'm sorry, Wendy was anything but accommodating in terms of having Wendy come. She's like, I don't know her. I don't know this hoe. I don't want her in my house. And you can just see from the energy that she did not want her there. And I'm wondering now, when I see things like that, because the one thing that you have to understand about communication, only 30%, count it, 10, 20, 30, we're counting tens, 10, 20, 30% of communication is verbal. The other 70% is nonverbal. And that 70% of Wendy was saying, I don't want this hoe in my house. But Karen was just like oblivious to that 70% and said, girl, I only see 30. And still allowed this woman, Mia, to walk into this semi-hostile environment where she was really not wanted. And so I just think that Karen sort of did her a disservice by asking Mia into that environment where Wendy really didn't want her presence there. So anyhow, all the girls are there. Ashley's there. She's trying to wear heels. Her ankles are too swollen to fit the heels. And there was a scene before the girls got there. I want to touch on this really quick too, where Wendy and her husband, they had some titty cakes made. Now, ain't nothing wrong with a good old night set. I don't have a problem with that. But they're feeding these kids breast cupcakes, breast-shaped cupcakes on national TV. And they have two little boys. And these two little boys are going to have to deal with that image of them being out there in perpetuity. So I don't necessarily have a problem with nudity or with the female body. But I don't know if that was the image that I would want out there of my boys who are growing up and sort of prepubescent. You know, because that's definitely going to come back to haunt them at some point. So anyhow, all the girls are there. And they all sit down, they're having some soup. And Mia's sitting down across from Robin. Giselle's there, and Karen is there, and they're sitting across from one another. And Giselle just takes off. Giselle basically just took her earrings off and said, look, I ain't got time. With you. I don't like you. We don't like each other. I'm sick of you and all your stunts, your shows, and your shenanigans. And we're just going to let this be known. From here moving forward, I don't F with you like that. And so Karen started throwing shots back. So they're throwing shots back and forth. You know, you're broke, and, you know, your husband's penis doesn't work. This is what Giselle is saying to Karen. And Karen's like, girl, your box is contaminated. She basically accused Giselle of having a sexually transmitted disease. Now listen, there's a lot of folks out there who could stand a shot of penicillin or two. It's a lot. So I'm not shaming anyone who might have a sexually transmitted disease. But I was like, damn, are we really going here? These are quote unquote women of a certain tier, a certain echelon, right? That they're, you know, these refined women, and here she is talking about how her box is hot. That's exactly what she said. She said, girl, let's talk about your hot box, and how Jamal is landing low and spreading wide, girl, and how he doesn't come out to see you. I was like, oh, you knew when you heard those reads coming out. These girls had practiced before they got to that dinner. They were sitting at home in their mirror like, oh, if she says this to me, I'm going to say this to her. And if she says this to me, I'm going to say, you could already tell by the energy that they had rehearsed these reads. These were not off the top reads. These reads were written, rehearsed, like they had ghostwriters, the whole nine. They did not come to play at that dinner. So that was one of the fights that happened. Now the other interesting energy for me was between Mia and Wendy. So I'm team Mia on this one, right? And I'll tell you why. So Wendy's there. She basically reveals her body, shows all the girls the work that they've had done. And Robin asked her to turn around. It's like, girl, what else did you have done? Did you have your booty done? And she refuses to turn around. Refuses. That's clue number one. And so Robin basically says, look, girl, we done seen this booty before. And the booty that you have did not look like this one, girl. Just come clean and say that you had your booty done. But Robin was, you know, very defensive. So when they sat down at the dinner table, you know, Mia is being complimentary on her breasts. It's like, damn, girl, your breasts look good. I can't stop looking at them. You know, what else did you have done? So, baby, what'd she say that for? What did she say that for? So she asked Wendy, what did she have done? And Wendy said, well, girl, you look like you had a lot of work done. What did you have done? So without missing a beat, Robin was like rhinoplasty, Juvederm, Restylane, vaginoplasty, liposuction. Robin laid out a litany of plastic surgeries. I was sitting there writing them down like this. And what else was it? And what else? because I'll have what she's having. Robin looks stunning, you know. I'm sorry, not Robin. Mia looks stunning. But Wendy took offense to her asking her questions about what work she had done. Now, I ask you, if you send out an invitation, you know, with a sexy silhouette, with you whining and loving all over your new lady parts, and, you know, you throw this party that's called a nude interlude, and you have breast cupcakes, but you're offended by people asking you questions about what you had done, that just seems out of sorts for me. Like, why would you throw a party to celebrate the body and then be afraid to talk about what you had done? Look, if you had some work done and the work looks good, talk about it. Or better yet, if you don't want to talk about it, don't throw a party celebrating the body. Just have a party and invite the girls over, eat, drink, and be merry. And someone might say at some point, you know, have you been working out? What have you been doing? And then at that point, you can have a conversation with the ones that you choose to share that information or divulge that information to. But I really didn't get why she would be offended about being asked questions at a party to celebrate her body. But the thing about Mia is, Mia is going to be trouble in the best possible way. So I'm already here for what Mia is going to bring to this season, just because she seems like she is feisty and unapologetically herself and doesn't have time to mince words and to play games. It's like, look, I've had everything I wanted to have done, and I'll have more done if I see fit. My husband is 38 years. Now, Mia messed up with that math. We know that M and Mia does not stand for math. Sis does not go with those numbers. You know, she was saying her husband was 38 years older than her, and then she said that she was 30, and they were trying to do the math, and the math just wasn't adding up. So I think at some point we discovered that there was a 32-year age difference between the two of them, but it's still unclear how old Mia is. And my point is, if you don't want to say how old you are, just tell hoes the back about your business. You don't have to disclose how old you are. But all in all, so far, it looks like it could be a pretty promising season based on this episode and the clips that I've seen of the upcoming episodes. So I'm in for now. But I will tell you this. That could change at any given moment, because I'm just reality showed out. You know, I have sort of hit my max. I'm only doing this review for y'all. That's why the Artwork review hasn't come out, and the RuPaul's Drag Race review hasn't come out, just because I'm sort of reality showed out. You know, I'm too busy living in my own reality to be consumed by, you know, what's on Bravo. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try. So, anyhow, you guys, before I get out of here, make sure you remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, ask yourself, why be bitter when you can be better? So let's be better together. I'll talk to you guys again in my next video. Mwah. Take care.